between Hervey Bay and Maryborough. And Maryborough was saying, we need it, you know, please help us. And then the Hervey Bay Chamber of Commerce said, well, actually, no, it's one-way traffic, people leaving here to shop in Maryborough. So we don't support the railway line. So this was in the Bristol Courier in October 1913. As headed, Port Maryborough or Urangan. At the monthly meeting of the Pialba Shire Council, so this is in the brief period that we had our own council, the Pialba Shire Council, a letter was received from the Maryborough Chamber of Commerce asking the council's support in its advocacy for the terminal station of the Pialba-Urangan line to be named Port Maryborough. Councillor Pop expressed the opinion that there was not much in the name, but the chairman, Councillor Bromley, disagreed. The suggestion, he said, wiped out Pialba entirely as a district, and Pialba had its own particular products. He thought Pialba should be known, as the Burn was, by the quality of its fruit growing. After discussion, the letter was allowed to stand over until the next meeting to enable the Maryborough Chamber of Commerce to give further particulars of its reasons for the request. The Maryborough Chamber of Commerce continued its advocacy of a change being effected in the name of the terminal station of the Pialba-Urangan line from Urangan to Port Maryborough at its monthly meeting on Thursday night. Mr. Corser referenced to the opinions expressed by the Pialba Shire Council's meeting in regard to the matter and said the Maryborough City Council and Chamber of Commerce had more than sentimental reasons why the station should be called Port Maryborough. Those bodies recognized that Maryborough was not being regarded as a port at home, and the merchants of Brisbane were taking advantage of that fact when agencies were offering. With the name Urangan, there was nothing to indicate what city the port represented. He could not see how the name Port Maryborough would be detrimental to Urangan, as the community of Maryborough District was responsible for the advancement of the port. Mr. Mackenzie said they should press the matter very strongly. Urangan was only a district so far, with no town there, and it was advisable to identify the port with Maryborough. The chairman said commercially it was almost imperative that it should be so. It was a resolve to instruct the secretary to forward the reasons given to the Pialba Shire Council. So it was initially known by a few different names. As you can see there, they ended up getting it wrong all the time anyway, talking about the Mary River. But in some places it is called, you know, the Port of Maryborough, and even when it's officially opened. But the very fact that you had, you know, a Urangan train station there, it just became known as the Urangan Pier. So this is what, by its construction in 1917, the pier looked like. This photo was taken in 1973, so towards the end of its life. You can see that's a landmark that's still there. That's the water tower that's by Urangan Point State School. So you can see the pier now goes to, it's probably not there. So and I'll talk a bit later about the demolition of this whole section. But that's what it looked like when Percy Hanson and his men had finished. And so those of you who were here before saw this video, but I'll just play the section of it again.
Some park at the end, like Blackpool Pier or something like that. Oh my God, you learn something every day, don't you? Didn't say about dredging if they dredged it.
So this is Point Vernon. You can see down Hervey at the back. So this is the Esplanade, very tip of Point Vernon. There's the streets back there. And this is the Esplanade. Back there is where Karami would be, right, somewhere back there. That tower was there until about 2005. Now it's the Ocean Blue Estate. This would be 2 and 2 and Creek down here. It used to, and then here's the pier. So this is, according to videos, 1960. So that would make this one of the last cargo ships. You know, it's cargo ships, the trains there.
Like a rust?
And as you can see, that's a locomotive. So, and then I'll talk about that light function there in a minute.
George, did they have to dredge that out? Do you know?
I don't know. Much more different. I don't know. I think so. No, because it went out further than it is, yeah. So that's what it looked like on completion in 1917. And then so they then organized the official opening, which was to be on the 3rd of March by the governor, Hamilton Gould Adams. He was the governor of Queensland for a considerable time. Before that, he was the governor in what's now South Africa called the Orange River Colony, but doesn't exist anymore. So they arrived. It was a very rainy day, actually, so they had to improvise a bit. But this is the official party at the end, basically on the wharfs at the very end. They had to move the luncheon inside because of the rain. So in fact, you talk about the names. This is a Urangan Pier, Port Maryborough. So they've sort of combined everything. I've never seen it. I've never heard it referred to as Urangan Pier anywhere else. But there they say, try and cover up by saying Urangan Pier and Port of Maryborough.
And the top line, Maryborough's new seaport.
Yeah, Maryborough's new seaport. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the official party with the governor. So it was really hampered by the rain, and so they moved inside for the luncheon. I'll just read you the menu for the luncheon. It was roast poultry, baked ham, lamb and mint sauce, roast beef, corned round, ox tongue. Now I'm a vegan, so I wouldn't have eaten any of that. but I imagine some people were there in the middle of the sandy straits of the bay, looking around and probably wanted seafood instead of this very English sort of menu of ox tongue. They also had vegetables, salads, pickles and chutney, trifle, fruit salad and cream, jellies, custard, fruit and season, biscuits and cheese, and tea and coffee. So that's what they were eating inside. And so then we have the official program of the day, which lists the toasts, which they did a bunch of toasts, which I hate these type of functions. I would definitely not gone to this. So these are the toasts that they did before the speeches. So the first toast was, of course, the King. That was proposed by the chairman. Then the second toast to His Excellency, Sir Hamilton J. Gould Adams, proposed by G. Stupart Esquire. He owns Stupart's in Maryborough. Third toast was to Queensland Parliament, proposed by His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Reid, responded by T.J. Ryan, which is quite incredible that Theodore Ryan was there, as well as W. Hamilton, MLC, Honourable A.J. Jones, MLC, Honourable J. Tomey, MLA. The fourth toast was to the prosperity of the pier, proposed by Brigadier General Rankin. That's a family that's very involved in the mines, Colonel Rankin and Dame Annabelle Rankin, eventually. And that was responded to by E.S. Courser Esquire. The fifth toast was to the contractors, proposed by Honourable A. Dunn, MLC. He owned the Chronicle, responded by representatives of the contractors. The sixth toast was to pastoral, daring, agricultural, and mining interests, and that was proposed by C.J. Booker, Esquire, MLA, and responded to by B.H. Courser, Esquire, MLA, and F.H. Stevens, Esquire, President of the WP&B Society. The seventh toast was to the visitors, and that was proposed by Hans Hansen, Esquire, responded to by Alderman Hurst of Bundaberg, the Mayor of Gympie, H. Epps, Esquire Childers, and the Chairman of the Kilcuban and others. The eighth and final toast was to the press, and that was proposed by J. Lackley, Esquire, and responded to by the journalist president. So once they could go through all those toasts, then they started on the speeches. So it was a very formal occasion. As I said, the equivalent amount was $8 million that had been spent. So I imagine, now we would have quite a big thing for that type of thing as well. It's equivalent of opening an airport or something. So this new pier added greatly to the marine traffic and the export-import functions of the region for all the producers. And in terms of not so much immigrants still went to Maryborough, but basically this whole region had been originally settled as a port. George Ferber arrived in 1847 on the southern bank of the Mary River. He got it wrong. He really should have been on the northern bank, but on the southern bank in 1847 to effectively set up Maryborough as a port for the sheep stations to the west. And since then, that's how Maryborough developed as a port. When we separated from New South Wales in 1859 and became our own colony, the very first action of the new colony was to appoint this man, Richard Bingham Sheridan, as the harbour master and sub collector of customs. So during his time, he was responsible for how the port functioned and its safety, and because it's quite complicated, especially having a port so far up the Mary River. It certainly required lighting facilities. So there were three major lighthouses. that Sheridan was involved in. This is the northernmost one. This is Sandy Cape Lighthouse, which is actually on that video I showed earlier. This is basically pretty much the northernmost tip of Fraser Island. It's actually very near where Flinders landed. He landed up around near there. So that was constructed as the northernmost tip of Fraser Island, and then there were two on Woody Island. This is one of the ones on Woody Island. And so they acted as lead lights for ships heading into the Mary River. So then when they changed around the way ships came into the area, they obviously needed some more lighting facilities for the Urangan Pier. So they needed a set of navigation beacons to guide ships through the deep water channel to safe mooring. So that required a raised platform. Another structure was built approximately halfway between Damon Point and Round Island. And you can see Round Island there. And then Woody Island's the big island in the background. Round Island is actually the very first place where a European landed in here. That's where Flinders landed on his first journey. That's why Flinders Lookout is at Damon Park. He called it Curlew Island though, because there were all these curlew birds. We found Aboriginal shields there. But that structure you see on the right-hand side, that was one of the structures built to help navigation. It's sometimes incorrectly referred to as the test house. The test house was actually a building a bit south of Damon Point, which housed sort of the connection of the telegraphic cabling before it went over to the island. So I don't know what the technical term for this structure was. Unfortunately, it's been demolished. It would be great if they still had it. But this worked in conjunction with all the other lights, especially the light on the pier and the fairway buoy, which is off of Point Vernon, so that people could line them up. You know, there was powerful gas light inside, and that way they could know that they were getting into the safe passage. One of the workers that was with Percy Hansen was Conrad Weinheimer. And so he worked on the construction of the pier, and then afterwards was appointed as caretaker. His son, George Weinheimer, which this article's about, took over from him in 1935 until his death in 1954 on Fraser Island. Weinheimer actually, he was born in Maryborough. There was a lot of German migrants to Maryborough, as well as other European countries, but he suffered quite a bit of prejudice during the war because of his German name. But he was, as much as anyone else, very involved in the Urangan Pier throughout its busy periods. However, at the very beginning of the Urangan Pier, it was seen as something of a white elephant. For the first, there wasn't a lot of ships coming in for the start. But over time, that changed quite a bit. It was obviously built, when it was first envisaged, as far back as the 1880s, the idea was that it would get coal exporting, and that's what you see. I'm pretty sure this is a coal train. Maybe not, but that shows what the general idea is. That coal would come from the mines, would be shunted out there, and need ships to take them away.
Was there a turnaround at the other end, or did they have to back in?
Yeah, they were back in. Yeah. I haven't seen a turnaround on the other end. There wouldn't have been a Y structure. No. So coal, which had been the initial instigation for the deepwater port, was not actually a major use. They continued to mine coal here, but with the opening of the Howard Power Station for quite a large area, much of the locally produced coal was used locally. Although, of course, they did bring coal out here for ships to use for their own propulsion, and some was exported. So the train wagons would be shunted to the end of the pier and then loaded with a steam-driven crane. There was a period, actually, I don't know if you've heard of the Rothbury riots in New South Wales, but in 1929, there was a major strike in quite a few different industries, but including coal. And so that meant that there was very little coal leaving New South Wales in 1929. And obviously there wasn't solidarity between the workers here and the workers down there, because the workers here picked up the slack from the striking miners down in New South Wales. So for 1929, the Urangan Pier was actually the largest exporter of coal on the eastern seaboard because of this strike down in New South Wales, which stopped them exporting. So in that year, they exported over 100,000 tons which is nothing like probably all the other years combined would be that amount because of the strike. So that was a key export. This was an import. This is the Pacific Island nation of Nauru, which is in the news now because the immigrant refugee detention base. But Nauru in Pacific Islands was formed over millennia of bird droppings. Its principal soil is very high in phosphate. It's a product called guano, which was then mined. You think that if you had a little country like that, you wouldn't be a miner. You wouldn't want to be exporting what you have, the little soil you have. So they exported guano, and a lot of it came through Urangan Pier as a fertilizer, a cheap fertilizer high in phosphate, which then went around the region and the farmers could use. Of course, that, as you can see in that picture, whatever they're doing on that island is a finite resource. And so by the time they had mined 80% of their topsoil, they were in a very tricky situation. And obviously they don't export much fertilizer anymore, so that had an end date. But for quite a period of time, a bit of the island was being imported in Australia through the Urangan Pier. Another import that came through the Urangan Pier was newsprint, specifically from New Zealand. And the very last cargo ship that came in was newsprint. A key export was sugar. So this is looking down into the guts of a cargo ship with wharfies loading bagged sugar. And what you actually see there, the bagged sugar is very specific to why it didn't continue. So sugar from quite a large region area, including up to Bundaberg, came down through Urangan to be exported in bags like that at the Urangan Pier. And so that was a very labor-intensive process.